Corey Coleman was the first wide receiver taken in the 2016 NFL Draft, and draft night was by far the highlight of his career. After dominating at Baylor, Coleman had seemingly fallen off the face of the earth. In today's video, we will tell the full story about Corey's football career and what went wrong for him. But first, if you are new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button and help me reach 7,000 subscribers by the end of August. Let me know who I should do next down in the comment section, and be sure to turn on post notifications so you never miss another upload. Now let's get started with what happened to Corey Coleman. Corey Coleman was born and raised in the Dallas metro area, and he was a star athlete from the very beginning. Corey played football, basketball, and ran track for J.J. Pierce High School in the town of Richardson, Texas. He played running back, wide receiver, and returned kicks for his high school team, and anyone who watched him knew the kind of talent that he possessed. He was such a difference maker on the field, and it showed with his 3,864 all-purpose yards and 61 touchdowns in his final 3 years. Corey was one of the fastest recruits in his class, and he actually had the fastest 40-yard dash time at the Spark Combine in Oregon. Coleman ultimately collected offers from schools such as Oklahoma, Kansas State, Baylor, and California, but ultimately he decided it was best for him to become a Baylor Bear. Overall, he was a 4-star recruit, the number 11 athlete, and the 154th best player in the class of 2012. After redshirting his first year at Baylor, Corey was projected to make an immediate impact for the Bears. Baylor was led by head coach Art Briles, and they were expected to have a good year. Bryce Petty was the quarterback, Losh Seastrunk was the running back, but they didn't really have a go-to wide receiver yet. Anton Goodley, Tevin Reese, Levi Norwood, and Corey Coleman were the top options for Petty, but no one had emerged as the main guy. Baylor had a monster season. They began 9-0, including a blowout win over number 10 Oklahoma. Their title hopes did die though after they lost to Oklahoma State, and they did finish the season 11-1 and 8-1 at the Big 12. They would go on to lose to UCF in the Fiesta Bowl, and they ended the year with an 11-2 record. By the end of the season, junior Antoine Goodley had become the main target for the team, but Corey still had a very respectable freshman year. He finished with 35 catches for 527 yards and 2 touchdowns. As a sophomore, Briles was still the coach, Petty was the quarterback, and Goodley was supposed to be the main guy, but things changed in college football. Shock Linwood became the starting running back, and Baylor was expected to be good again. Just like last year, Baylor started off the season hot, but Corey didn't. He missed his first 3 games due to a hamstring issue, but he'd make a statement in his return game. They won their first 6 games, including a thrilling road win over number 9 TCU, and in Coleman's return game against Iowa State, he set the tone for the season with 12 catches for 154 yards and 2 touchdowns, one of which was a kickoff return for a touchdown. They stumbled against West Virginia the following week, but they would bounce back. To this point, Petty and Linwood were dominating, but the receiver spot was all over the place. Instead of Goodley being the main guy, Corey Coleman and true freshman K.D. Cannon had become the 2 top targets for the team, and they were neck and neck in every category. They won their last 5 games, including 2 top 15 road wins over Kansas State and Oklahoma. They finished 11-1 once again and won the Big 12, but the College Football Playoff Committee didn't forgive their loss to West Virginia, so the Bears had to settle for the Cotton Bowl against Michigan State, where they would lose by 1 point. Overall, Coleman barely inched out K.D. Cannon as the best receiver on the team, as he caught 64 passes for 1,119 yards and 11 touchdowns, compared to Cannon's 58 catches for 130 yards for 1,030 yards and 8 touchdowns. As a junior, expectations were through the roof for both Coleman and Baylor, as the Bears started out the year ranked number 4. Shock Linwood returned at running back, and Coleman and Cannon were set to be one of the best receiver duos in the country, but who would be throwing them the ball? Bryce Petty was now gone, and the Bears had 2 options, Seth Russell or Jarrett Stidham. Russell won the starting job and once again led Baylor to a hot start. They began the season 8-0, and in their second game against Lamar, Coleman broke the school record for touchdowns in a game with 4. At this point, Baylor was number 2 in the country and set to play Oklahoma. The Sooners beat Baylor this time, and once again, their playoff hopes were looking dim. They bounced back the following week with a road win against number 6 Oklahoma State, but after they lost to TCU in double overtime, they finally collapsed and lost to unranked Texas to finish the regular season at 9-3. As expected, Coleman led the team in every category with 74 catches for 1,363 yards and 20 touchdowns, en route to winning the 2015 Biletnikoff Award. Seth Russell started the majority of the games, but after a neck injury, Stidham became the starter. A few weeks later, Stidham was injured and Chris Johnson had to play. Even Johnson got injured, and they had to play Texas with their 4th-string quarterback. Despite the poor finish, Baylor was matched up with North Carolina in the Russell Athletic Bowl, and they won the game 49-38 without Coleman even playing. Overall, Corey Coleman is 7th all-time in Baylor receptions, 5th in receiving yards, and number 1 in both single-season and career touchdowns. After a dominating junior season, Coleman declared for the 2016 NFL Draft. Corey joined a wide receiver class that included Will Fuller, Michael Thomas, Laquan Treadwell, Sterling Shepard, and Josh Doxson. He was considered the boomer bust type prospect, and he was projected to be a first or a second round pick. Scouts were concerned about his transition to the NFL though, for 2 main reasons. The first one is the fact that Baylor played an extreme spread style offense, and close to 65% of the plays he ran consisted of 2 routes. They were worried he wouldn't do well in a pro style offense. The second concern was Coleman's inconsistent hands. He had way too many drops throughout his Baylor career, and that is always a red flag for receivers. Either way, the Cleveland Browns decided to ignore those warnings and took Coleman with the 15th overall pick, making him the first receiver taken in the draft. His career didn't start out the way he expected, as he missed the entire preseason because of an injury. Going into his rookie year at the Browns, Coleman was going to be the main target alongside Terrell Pryor, Gary Barnidge, and Andrew Hawkins. The running back was Isaiah Crowell, and the quarterback position was a mix of Cody Kessler, Luke McCown, and Robert Griffin III. In his first game, he caught 5 passes for 40 yards. A few weeks later, he caught 3 passes for 38 yards in his first career touchdown against the Giants. His best game of 2016 came against the Ravens, when he caught 5 passes for 104 yards and 2 touchdowns. On the year, he finished with 33 receptions for 413 yards and 3 touchdowns. Not a horrible start for Browns standards, but he didn't exactly impress his rookie year. Going into his second season, Terrell Pryor was now gone, and Corey was going to be the main option. This time, Deshaun Kaiser was going to be the quarterback, and a lot of people expected a breakout season from Corey. Coleman did the opposite though. After a decent first game, he broke his hand during his second game and was out 6 to 8 weeks. When he returned, he was targeted 6+ times in almost every game, but he could never put together a good performance. On the year, he finished 8th on the team in receiving, as he caught 23 passes for 305 yards and 2 touchdowns, while the Browns lost all 16 games. After a falling out with the organization, Coleman was traded to the Buffalo Bills for a 7th round pick. Just a few weeks later, he was released. After a short stint with the Patriots, the New York Giants took a chance on him, and before he could do anything, he was injured once again. As of a few months ago, Coleman signed a 1-year deal with the Giants, so he will likely get one more chance. Overall, Corey Coleman was the stereotypical athletic playmaker that benefited from a good college system. He was developed in a system that is completely different from the NFL, and to make matters worse, he struggled to catch the ball. He was dealt a bad hand when he was drafted to the Browns, but he had the opportunity to become the main guy on the team, and he completely disappointed everyone. Injuries didn't help his cause, but that's not the reason he hasn't been successful. As much as I like Corey, we kind of have to call him a bust in the NFL so far. I don't really ever see that label changing. If you enjoyed today's video, be sure to smash that like button and let me know what you think down in the comment section and who I should do next. Please be sure to subscribe to the channel and help me reach 7,000 subscribers by the end of August. If you're still here, please be sure to check out my video about what happened to Kevin White and all my other college football what happened to videos. I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and until next time, peace.